Welcome to episode number 71 of the Be More podcast. I'm very, very excited because we've got a guest on the show today who actually found me through a different guest on the podcast. Isn't that right, George?
That's correct.
So Dave Templar was on the podcast. How long ago was it now? Maybe 6 months?
Yeah.
And we connected through social media, and I think you might have commented on something of mine, and I looked at your profile and was like, this guy is really, really cool. And since then I've been trying to get him on the podcast, and it just so happens that he's been travelling for the last year. Is it you were away for?
Yeah.
And you've just got back, so straight onto the podcast. I'm very, very excited for this. Mate, introduce yourself. Tell us your story.
So, my name's Jordan, and I've just come back from a year-long travel in Asia, travelling 14 countries in 12 months. So, it's been a bit of a busy year.
I have got so many questions for you. Because I only did like 5 weeks of Asia, but absolutely loved it. Like, preferred it to almost Australia and New Zealand because of the different culture.
Yeah.
But the first question, because I think a lot of people will be thinking this, how much did it cost?
It cost me 12 grand.
People say it's about $1,000 a month out in Asia. Yeah. So average about, and that includes flights?
Yeah, that includes flights, yeah. So, it was on like a proper budget because we did basically before we went, we wanted to see how many countries we wanted to go to. We basically like picked them off the map, like, yeah, that sounds cool, that sounds amazing, let's do that. Then was like, let's just do it, like, let's just work out how much it will cost. And then that was sort of our target goal to save for.
And then
we did it.
You went with the missus, didn't you?
Yeah, me and the missus.
And so did she pay 12 grand as well?
Yeah, well, she came back with a bit more than me because I eat more. So, but yeah, we both came back with a bit more money. Like, I came back with $1,000, and I think she came back with about 1,300, 400. So we didn't even spend it all. But that way, we took 13, but it
So
spent
did you
12.
just decide like a couple of years ago you wanted to go travelling and start saving up and?
Yeah, well, it was I met my missus coming up to 4 years now, and when I met her, she sort of says, "Oh, in 7 months I'm going travelling with my friend for 3 months." So I was just like, "Right, okay, so you're leaving me for 3 months?" We only just met, like, it was quite a big trust thing as well. And at the time I wasn't interested in travel at all. Like, I was like, money, yeah, nice cars, all that. And she went to do a road trip for America around the southern states, from like LA, and did all these amazing things. She did a bit of Asia, she did a few countries that we did, and she came back, and I was just looking at pictures. I was like, wow, like, there's so much out there, and I'm more interested in a shitty BMW that I've got on my drive. And then that for me was the spark. Then she came back buzzing, I want to go traveling again. I saw it, I got the travel bug, and then from there we just sort of followed. So it's right, where do we want to go, and start planning it really.
What, and you say for like 18 months, 2 years, and then
it was 2 years we saved for. So
nice.
we had a plan of, like, because we're sort of double saved as well, which I'd recommend to do if anyone does a long travel, because I didn't want to come home with no money. I thought I don't want to like come back with nothing and then have to sort of get any job just to get some money again. So I double saved for like a house deposit as well. So I actually saved £20,000 in 2 years, and it wasn't easy, but the first year we sort of went on holiday and stuff and didn't really want that serious. But the second year I managed to save £13,000 in 1 year, and like, I haven't got a good job. I was an apprentice, so I was an apprentice wage. My missus just in call centre, just above like minimum wage, but we just went with that for pretty much 2 years. Sacrificed so many things, sold loads of things, just literally did everything and anything. Missed so many birthdays, which was like hard at the time, and not many people understood it. But I was just like, I can't come, mate. I can't come like Newcastle for the weekend. I can't afford it. And like, I was just, So as soon as that goal was in mind, I got to save this amount by this date. That was it. Just head down and did it.
That. So you just set yourself a goal and was like, no matter what distractions come my way,
pretty
I'm
much
committing to this. Because how many people do you know who have said, "Oh, I'm going to save up for a house or whatever," or I'm going to go and do this, and then all of a sudden the weekend out with the lads.
Yeah, it did take some really serious like determination. I'm an electrician, and I had to have 2 hand operations in that 2 years. So being an electrician, you need your hands. So I was off work for 6 weeks during that time as well. So that was a big spanner in the works, and I was proper worried. I was like, I'm never going to save the money now. But yes, I still don't know really how I did it. But I just did it. I just saved the money.
Wow, love that. So you just quit work, or?
Yeah, well, I had because I was doing an apprenticeship. I had my final exam on, I think it was end of November, and I was flying the end of December. And my college guy was just like saying, yeah, it doesn't matter if you fail, you know, we'll book you in for like March time. And I didn't tell him, and I says, oh, I'm actually going travelling for a year and I'm quitting my job. But I didn't tell my boss yet because I didn't want him to not pay for my course. I thought it would get a bit funny about me, like, yeah, just qualified and then I'm leaving. So I sort of kept it a secret. So I did my final exam, and 2 of my mates before at college, they failed. And another mate before that, he failed. And I'm thinking, God, man, this is like dead hard. I'm going to fail. I'm going to have to try and do it when I come back. And I'm going to forget it all because I've gone for a year. It was so stressful. But yeah, I managed to smash it. I was like, again, I just thought, locked myself in a room, got inside these electrical books that I hate because I just knew I needed to pass it, or it's just going to like be awful. But yeah, I did it, smashed it. And then told my boss.
You told your boss you're off.
I did feel like a bit cheeky. I was like, I need to have a meeting with you. And he just sort of says, like, yeah, you know, you'll come back though, not yeah. And I was like, well, yeah. I says, are you bothered? He says, not really. I says, you're young. And he was really understanding. So that was a bit of a weight off my shoulders, a bit of a worry, sort of gone. But
nice.
Yeah.
And now you're back, are you going to work for him again?
No, definitely not. If he's not listening.
Let him get out of his system, then come home and come back to me. And then you've gone that, you've learned so much you don't even want to go back into that.
That's the thing, pretty much. Like, I sort of knew before I left I wasn't going to come back, but I just sort of told him I wanted to hear. And which I'd always do anything for him because I do owe a lot to him. I'd never like not do anything. I've got my qualification, so I can always just go back and do it anyway. But yeah, I said I've changed so much. It's just I didn't enjoy it anyway, so now it's just giving me more of a reason not to do it.
Awesome,
I'm sure he'll forgive me.
So I want to go into the travelling because I bet all the listeners are massively excited to hear about that. But talk to us about your background first. I know you're into you've got like a fighting background. Talk us through it.
So I do karate and kickboxing. So I've been doing that for, I started when I was 5 in a style called Wadaru, which is Japanese style. So I've been doing that since I'm 23 now, so many years.
Is there third degree? Just a certain belt, so you like black belt or whatever, or?
Yeah, I got my 3rd degree black belt in karate, and I'm a 1st degree black belt in kickboxing.
Shit.
So I just help out teaching that, and so that's my passion. So that's what I've always done. And then all throughout school, I was like teaching and helping. And then when I left school, it was sort of a bit like, right, you need to get a job or go to college. Nothing was really interested in me. I didn't really, I don't know. I didn't mind school, but I was never really passionate about following any specific career. So that's why I fell into an apprenticeship because I thought it's money. I just wanted money at the time. Doing that for a year was fun. Had some really good laughs with the lads. But I knew deep down, this wasn't for me. This lifestyle is not for me. I don't enjoy electrics at all. I've got no interest in it, whatever. But it was good money. And without it, I wouldn't have been able to go travelling. So I don't full on hate it, but I knew it was nothing that I wanted to do for the rest of my life. So yeah, I sort of fell into that. And then being an electrician, if anyone is an electrician, you'll know the hours are just awful. Like you just don't know where you are. Sunday night, my boss would ring me up saying, "Yeah, you're in Wales on Monday." I'm like, "Sound like last minute. You're away for the week, or you're going down London, or you're in Ireland." You can't plan anything, so it's awful. So yeah, I just really hated it, and it affected my martial arts as well because I was at work all the time, and I never got a chance to do my hobby, my passion. And there's a time where it was about a year that I went about 3 times. Because I was just always working away. And then that for me was like, something's got to change. Something's not right here. I'm not even doing the thing that I love. So, but yeah, and then,
There's so many questions I've got. So obviously you've got the kind of person that if you set your mind on something, you're going to do it. Because obviously you said about saving. Now you tell me you're a black belt, 3rd degree black belt, which probably means that you're obviously, very goal driven. And
very.
Is that something that's been drilled into you from when you was young, or just is that something your parents instilled into you, or did you just always enjoyed it? What's been about you that's? I
think definitely wasn't really my parents, and I think if you look at my family, I'm definitely like an odd one out. Yeah. And my mindset and everything is just the way I do things is just different. But yeah, I don't know. I was always into sports as a kid. I was always just loved doing sports, football, cricket. I'd do anything. I just love sports and. I don't know, my mum sort of obviously made me go to all these sports I went on the street, causing trouble. So I guess maybe her making me go and not quit was a good thing. And maybe, I don't know, I just enjoy it and then just stuck with it and just want to get better and better. Anything I do, get like quite competitive. I just want to get better at it and better at it.
Nice. So what are your goals in martial arts now? Are you going to try and go to the next level? What is the next level?
Yeah, I want to go for my 4th degree. Maybe this year, depending on my fitness. I've got a year to catch up on. And I want to do more with my kickboxing. I want to try different styles as well. You know,
I see you were watching a lot of the kickboxing whilst you were in Thailand.
Yeah, Muay Thai was amazing. That was like brilliant. Went to go watch. It was in Bangkok.
Yeah.
That's quite a championship fight sort of thing, and it was brutal. It was amazing, but the atmosphere is crazy. All the locals like betting on them, and
you weren't tempted to get in the ring then?
Nah. It's funny to say that. There's a bar in the PP Islands. I don't know if you saw
you can
it.
just get involved, can't you?
You can just get involved. So all these drunk people are just like, yeah, I'll fight. And then if you win, you get more alcohol. So you get more drunk. And then I thought, nah, I can't do that.
Yeah.
Don't want to get embarrassed. But he knows what he's doing.
Mate. So, travelling. Talk us through it, mate. So where did you start? Where did you go? Like, give us maybe a 2-minute overview of like all the places you went to, and then we'll dive into your favourite places.
Right, try and remember myself. I went to India, Sri Lanka, Myanmar, Singapore, Philippines, China, Japan, Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos, and Hong Kong. I think that's 14.
Mate,
I think that's the
unreal.
most. So I went to all them. But it's like I say, before we went, we sort of just picked the countries that we wanted to go to. And then we just sort of says, right, how much is it going to cost to be in that country? So India was there for 6 weeks. And for the same amount of money, we could go to Japan for 2 weeks. So you can see how each country varied for how long we could stay there.
And did you figure that out before you went?
Yeah. So that, it took a good, year and a half of planning before we went.
How did you find that out? Is it just through Google or what? Like speaking to people?
Yeah. Google really is good to do research. There's lots of blogs for people who've gone travelling, who will sort of include their daily budget, daily costs. So just I went India.
And was it all really relevant for when you were there? Was it the same?
Some things was, some things wasn't. A lot of things changed. A lot of stuff's gone up in price, as you can imagine.
Yeah.
The one thing that doing your research is so important. When we didn't do it properly, it affected us. Because when we got to...
I'm kicking myself because I went travelling and I didn't do any research.
Yeah.
None. And I'm listening to you now thinking you did 18 months of research before you went. And I've seen your trip and it looks so much more organised than mine.
Yeah, I think it is.
I spent more than you did in 3 months than you did in a year.
Wow. Yeah, I had a mate who he went to Vietnam for 5 weeks and he did a lot of drinking and he spent the same amount of money in 5 weeks what I spent in 6 months. And he didn't go to half the places. But
it's mental. So there you go. There's point number one. Get organised and plan.
But it is a bit boring and I've probably got to thank my missus more because she's a bit more organised than me. But China, for example, we researched it and most people said between about £25 a day is okay for food and accommodation, and we sort of went with that, but then we didn't really research into this person that only went to 4 places in China, where we've got 10 places in China, so that's 6 more train journeys, 6 more hotels, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that then soon added up, and then before you know it into our budget, and we was just really struggling in China to enjoy as much as what we could have, because the money that we had, it was you can afford a noodle soup for £1, but all the other meals were £3-4 for vegetables and chicken or whatever.
So you literally living on that basis, were you?
Pretty much, yeah. And we had to go with so much out in China just because we didn't really do our research properly.
So you had
the
to be
trains were
because you still had a grand left over. You had to be disciplined then because you could have gone and spent more.
Yeah, definitely. And I think sometimes we had to talk to each other and say we're being stupid, we're being too tight now. Let's just relax, enjoy it. But sometimes, yeah, but most of the time, I think what worked well for us was, right, we've got £2 for a meal. That's our budget. Let's go find a meal for £2.
That's almost a game. It's quite good fun, isn't it? Whereas
yeah.
What isn't good fun is when you're 4 weeks still travelling and when you ring your dad going, Dad, I need to borrow £1,000.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I did, and I run out of money.
But that's the thing, you see, and we met a few travellers who were exactly the same. And we knew we wanted to go to all the countries, because I'd have hated it if I got to September and I was fuck, we spent up, I'm going to miss out on Thailand or Laos. So for me and the missus was like, let's just stick to our budget. Like we can easily do it. And many countries we easily did it. And it helped in India. We researched online that it'd be about £40 a day. When we got there, it was more like £20 a day.
Oh,
so
nice.
every day we were saving 20 quid. And it soon adds up.
Yeah,
and then, but you get to Japan and it was a little bit more than what we budgeted for. But because of the money we saved from India, we could put it up a bit more. So it is really important to keep like on check of how much money you've got.
Do you reckon the way you monitored money for that year has changed the way you like perceive money now that you're back home?
Oh, definitely.
So you've had like 3 years now, haven't you, of being like very money conscious?
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, it's so important, especially being back home. I'm starting to realise just the amount of money like wasted. Just like there's so much stuff that you don't even think of being wasted. Like, oh, let's just get that chocolate bar, or let's go to Mackey's. It's only £3. And it soon adds up. And then you just think, do you really need it? That's what me and the miss have been saying now. I've been home. If there's something we've thought, oh, let's get that, then we're like, hang on a minute, do we really need it? Do we like really, really need it? And like, no, we don't actually, do we? And then you just start realising how much money gets wasted.
Yeah, definitely. So then, mate, where was your favourite place?
Japan, definitely.
Really?
100%. Yeah. Maybe because I'm a bit biased because I do karate. And it's from Japan, so I could like just proper relate to it. And
so how long did you spend in Japan then?
Just over 2 weeks, because it was quite expensive. And there's like this train thing that you can get for 2 weeks, and that was £300, but you can go all over Japan. So, but yeah, the people are just so nice, so respectful, clean, like modern, like anything you could ever want from like another country as a guest, they like give it. I don't know, it's just like no rush.
It was quite really good value for money. Like it was cheap or.
Japan's like you can go really expensive or you can go really cheap. So like sushi and stuff, really cheap, lovely. But then we did go to this bar, this British bar, and we paid £8 for half a pint. So but it depends what you want. You can go to you can find cheap stuff and you can find expensive stuff. So we did a lot of couch surfing in Japan actually. So I don't know if you're probably doing a lot of couch surfing is where you stay at other people's houses for free, but they just sort of like take you out for the day. So there's like an app. You can just like say, yeah, we're going to be on this date. There's 2 of us. Hope you can take us, and then they take you in. And then they learn a bit of English. We learn a bit of Japanese.
Oh, that's what they get from it. They get to learn a bit of English, but then they look after you, and then they take you out for the day.
Yeah, so they're just like sort of giving their bed for free in the house. We get a free accommodation, but it's not about the free accommodation, which does help. And you get free accommodation, but that was probably one of the best things I did in Japan because you get to see life from a local.
Yeah.
So we was going to all these local Japanese bars where there's just like 5 or 6 people in there. Cause Japan have like really small bars. They don't have like big bars like we do here. It's like 5 or 6 people in a little room, then just like one guy behind the bar, and that's it.
Really?
So we was going to these places, and they're all just like speaking in like Japanese, and then we're just like sat there not having a clue. But then the guy who's with us, he's speaking Japanese. Like, oh yeah, they're from England. They're travelling. It's just amazing just to sort of sit there and look around and think these are local people just doing their local thing.
Yeah.
You don't get like a tourist perspective. You get a Japanese perspective.
Yeah.
And I think that was like so important. From every country we went to, we always tried to do something like the locals did, because like the tourist view is just so like I don't know. You don't get to see the full picture.
No.
It's very like shiny little picture that you get to see. You don't get to see the locals.
So for people who haven't been travelling, what would you say about like how could you review it in like, let's say for example, you would like to do a sales pitch for 1 minute to encourage someone. We're going to actually answer this kind of question in a minute, but like to get people to open their eyes and to just go and travel like you did. What would make you sell? How would you sell that to them? Because you know the value they're going to get from it, the impact it's going to have on that person's life.
I think you will change no matter what. You get to expose yourself to new environments that you would never get to experience at home. When you're like landing in another country and nobody speaks the language, everyone's looking at you a bit funny because you're a different skin colour, and then you just sort of like sit back and you think, wow, like you're out of this bubble that we're living at home, and then the value that you can just get from that, just from like listening to your own sort of thoughts, is like massive. And then you change, and then you have to change, because you don't like you're not just going to stand there and not do anything. You have to sort of talk to this Indian man about trying to get some food or trying to order a taxi, and he just don't have a clue what you're on about. But then you have to sort of like guess about it, and it's just like one big adventure. Like you've just I don't know, it's just a massive adventure, and it's you just got to do that leap of faith, really, because it is scary. And I was like petrified before I went,
Right.
and I was really I was confident, but I was shy. Like if we went out for a meal with my missus, I should have to go up and order because I'll be scared about getting the order wrong. Straight up, and it's quite embarrassing to say that now.
Yeah.
But then travelling, it's like I had to do it. Like I had to order that taxi. I couldn't just like let my missus do it all, because sometimes she like, especially in India, they don't really like speak to the women. They just speak to the men because the men are seen as like better than the women.
Yeah.
It's just their culture. So then the men would always speak to me, and I'd be like, yeah, we need a taxi to where we're going again. And then like, but you just put yourself in that situation.
Yeah.
And you just learn so much just from being in that situation. And obviously you get to see these amazing things, new food, different culture. It's red hot. It's like, it's brilliant. It is amazing. It's just better than here, really.
Love it. I think everyone who's listening to this podcast now is about to go on their phones and book their flight. I know that someone listened to my last podcast with a guy who's living and working in Fiji. He just booked up to go.
Yeah. It's mad.
It's quality.
Definitely what you got to do. Just book it. Do it.
I've got a question.
Get
I
out
know I'm
there.
going to ask you about books. I know you're a bit of a book. You like your books.
Yeah.
Don't you? Do you reckon you learnt more? I think I know the answer to this. Travelling than you did from any book.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the two, if you put the two together, works amazing because
How much of a bookie are you? Have you read like lots, or when did
Before-
you start reading?
before I went travelling, I didn't read any at all. I used to think it was boring. I just hated sitting down for 20 minutes doing nothing. Wanted to be out doing something. So, and then I sort of like, you read about it, all these people read books. I was like, yeah, I'll give it a go. And I bought the Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck before I went. And
What
I started
inspired you
reading.
to pick it up, and you just saw someone on social media or something cool?
Yeah, I think so. I think I just saw about it and I thought, yeah, I know I've got a year coming up. I'm going to have a lot of time. Everyone's like, yeah, read books. And I was like, I don't read books. I thought, I best get into reading books. I've got a lot of time.
Mad, because if you look at your Instagram, it says like in your bio, it's you are the books that you read, isn't it?
Exactly. And then reading that book, and then I was just like, wow, like I feel so stupid for not picking up books before. And then traveling, I took a few books with me, and then like the more you read, it's sort of like, I don't know, it's like an addiction, isn't it? You just keep wanting to read more and more and more. And then the more you learn, the more you can like put into practice traveling. And I found that traveling, that the stuff I was learning, I put into practice a lot more than what I would if I was at home, because I was exposed to like different situations.
Yeah.
There's a lot in books about like letting things go or embrace the uncertainty. I think that was in a book called Unfuck Yourself by Gary John Bishop. And that was one of the things, is just embrace the uncertainty. And obviously travel, every day is an uncertainty.
Yeah.
And then there was at the start, I was quite worried about not knowing where I was going to go. But then towards the end, I was like, yeah, let's just embrace the uncertainty. So I was like putting it into practice, and you're like, wow, it does actually
Nice.
work. This book reading, it does actually work.
I remember I was like, before I went travelling, I think I was scared about waking up in the morning and how I would feel. Because like obviously we used to going to work, or we're used to having like some kind of purpose, you know, for our day. Whereas when you're travelling, like you are just literally free.
Yeah,
Aren't you?
yeah,
I think it took me like a week to get used to it. Like, 'cause I remember having a few lanes. I was like, why am I wasting time? Like I should be like adventuring and stuff. What would you say to that? Like, how would you explain to people how you feel in the morning when you wake up and you haven't got to go to work? You're just completely free.
Yeah.
How would you explain it? Did it take you a while to get used to it?
It did take a while to get used to it, and it's amazing though. I think the thing I enjoyed was the feeling of being in control.
Yeah.
It's like, if I want to go to the beach, I'll go to the beach. If I want to like go for a run, I can go for a run. Like, there's no boss telling me I need to be at work at 8 o'clock, and there's no boss telling me I've got to have 15 minutes for my dinner. If I want to have that for my dinner, I'll have that dinner. You know, you know what I mean? So it's just that freedom and that control together that it just feels amazing. You just feel alive. You're like,
Yeah.
it's as if you've got no rules. It's as if you've just gone to like another planet. Like, you've not gone to Asia, you've gone to like Mars, where there's just no rules. You can do whatever you want when you want, and it's just amazing. I don't know.
Because we both went travelling, but there's so many things I'm looking at thinking like what we did was like the opposite. Like I know I went and I just completely shut off from training, from dieting, because I think I was almost trying to escape from like bodybuilding because I was so involved with it. Because I didn't train for 13 weeks. I think I went to like 2 gyms, whereas you were training nearly every day. Like you said, you were going for runs. You still ate quite well as well, didn't you? I know you had the odd beer and stuff, but like, so you continue to kind of like live a healthy lifestyle. Like, I know you was going for a lot longer than me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish now that I 1 planned and 2 went and still had like a kind of healthy lifestyle mindset.
Yeah,
It
I
just makes
think,
you feel like it's better,
yeah.
doesn't it, when you go for like do a bit of exercise or you go for a run.
Oh,
Like, whereas I was just getting, yeah,
definitely. And I think that it's something that sort of helped our travel experience massively. Because, like I say, you do feel better when you've done exercise. And when we first got there, it was just eating whatever we wanted. Like, it was all exciting, new food, loads of curries, mint. And then after a while, I was like, I don't feel as good as what I did at home because I was eating healthy.
yeah.
So then you start eating healthy again, and you're doing a lot of exercise, and you just feel better within yourself. Like, and for us, we sort of saw it as, we can't see it as like a holiday. You go on like a 2-week holiday to Ibiza or whatever. You can sort of let yourself go a little bit because
Yeah.
you're gonna be home and you're probably gonna get back in shape again.
Yeah.
But for us, we're going for a year, so I can't undo a whole year's worth of like bad eating when I get home. It'll take me ages. So we just thought
You two
like,
come back in like great shape still, haven't you? You've obviously kept
Yeah.
looking after yourself the whole way through.
we did sort of keep a check on our weight, and we maintained it throughout our travel experience. I think we lost a bit of muscle, put on a lot of like water weight 'cause the salty food over there,
Yeah,
really
yeah.
salty. But then when we came home, within 2 days I lost half a stone, and I think that was in water weight just from all the salt for a whole year.
Really?
The salt is crazy over there.
Yeah.
So, but like for one of the meals we'd just have a mixed veg, just to get some vegetables in, because when we got to China, I was realizing like our nails were getting really brittle and my hair was like falling out, and Silver's hair was falling out, my missus, and like loads of little things that were what we're missing. I was like, we're missing nutrients. Like, we're not even getting the right amount of food because they don't eat properly over there in Asia. They're very high on rice and noodles and stuff. And so then when we started to actually eat vegetables and sort of caring more about what we're actually eating, it all started like coming back again. We felt amazing again. So it was weird to like think that would happen. But yeah, it's definitely important to, and because we're going like beach places as well. Last thing you want is feeling a bit podgy on beach. So.
And you're
But,
getting photos for the gram, mate. I see the abs,
Exactly.
the abs are still popping, mate. Girls, go and follow him. He's in good shape. Right, I've got some questions I'm going to throw at you, mate. I have given these to you before, so you've kind of got some pre-warning, so you know what you're going to come back with. But so, what is the books that you've given most as a gift, and why? Or what is the book? Have you ever given anyone a book as a gift?
So I hadn't, but there's a martial arts book that I read, a martial arts business, so it's quite specific to me, because that's what I'm doing when I get back. So I gave that to a couple of other instructors, because I was like, guys, we're missing out here. In my area, there's so much to learn. I'm like, guys, we're missing out here. And they're like from a different club, but I wasn't bothered about competition. I just thought, this is like a really good book. I just want them to read it. And there's another book called Simplicity. And it's a bit of a girly book. I didn't buy it. My missus bought it, but I read it anyway. And it was about a girl who lives in Japan, and she just sort of looked at the Japanese way of life and living a simpler life. So say if you go to your door in your house and it's squeaking, you might not notice it, but subconsciously it affects you. You think, fucking hell, squeaky door that is. So saying like, just fix it, get it sorted, or like rooms, you should have like right colours in it, and just about living a better life. And that was a book that I sort of read it because I was bored, and I thought it was a bit girly, this is. And then I read it, I was like, actually, it's quite a good book, really, and it's just all about self-care as well, and like looking after yourself. And if not necessarily buying really expensive stuff, but don't go cheap stuff, because it's just going to piss you off and you're going to have to buy it again. So don't be afraid about buying quality, because you know it's going to be quality. Just little things like that. And I gave that to my mum, I think, or my missus's mum. I thought, like, they'll love that. And I think my missus gave it her friends as well. And so they're probably the only two books I've gave away.
But now that you've got into your reading, do you feel like that you would probably gift someone with a book that you've read? Like, for example, I was similar to yourself. Like, neither of us had read really until like the last 18 months. I'd say I started reading. I would never buy a book for someone as a gift. Whereas this year for Christmas, most of the people I've bought presents for, I've gotten books.
Yeah.
And I just know that even though the book's worth, say, 15 quid or whatever, that book is worth way more than 15 quid to that person if they read and then get value from it. And I know that they're going to think back to me because of all the results they're going to get from that book. So I think it's like a really good gift for someone.
Yeah, definitely. I agree.
Do you feel like this Christmas maybe you'd be like, right, I'm going to buy this? Like, for example, hopefully she ain't listening, but I bought my missus a couple of books for Christmas. One of them's a cooking book to make her cook for me more. Not that she even can, but so yeah, like, do you agree with that?
Yeah, definitely agree.
Maybe I'd buy my dad like autobiography or something like Gascoigne or whatever, but I wouldn't ever buy like self-help books for people. Whereas now, I think like almost as well, like my circle's changed to the point where the people I'm around would read it as well. Whereas before,
yeah.
I would give if I'd give books to people, they'd be like, "What's that shit?"
Yeah.
I'm watching Match Today, and that's it. Do you know what I mean? So I think
definitely.
as you become more involved with personal development, your circle kind of changes. So if we were to share a book with each other, we'd be like, "Oh mate, legend." Whereas if you used to give a book to one of your mates, or I was to give a book to one of my mates, they'd be like, "What am I going to do with this? Is just like a doorstop or something?"
Yeah, definitely. I was just about to say, I think it depends on the people that you give the book, because my missus has gave a book to a friend before, and she was like, she needs to read this. This will change her life completely. Like, you need to read it. But she knew deep down she wasn't the type of person to read a book. So I'm like, you can't make her read a book. She's like, yeah, but if she reads it, she'll stop moaning to me about the problems, or she'll not stop saying this, or you know what I mean? And it's annoying when someone don't want to read it, but you can only do so much to help. But I think eventually, she might have read it. But yeah, definitely does depend who you give the book to.
And have you seen the stat that only 10% of people read past the first chapter of a book?
Oh wow, no, that's incredible.
So you're part of a very small percentile actually read the whole of the books and continue to read more and more.
That's crazy. Feel privileged.
So what are 1 to 3 books that have greatly influenced your life?
So I know you spoke about this before. Mindset by Carol Dweck, I think. That was probably one of my first ones I read, actually, and that was proper life changing for me.
Yeah.
Unfuck Yourself by Gary John Bishop. That was a book that I thought was amazing, and the thing I liked about it was simple. It's a bit of like a motivational book, but for me it just sort of like got rid of. It wasn't like a dead long book where there's loads of wordy. It was just straight to the point, and that was one. There was the embracing uncertainty. Had these like different like phrases in it where it was like, yeah, you need to do this, need to do this, and I think it's Scottish, so it was just like straight to the point. It's like no bullshit.
Yeah.
It's like, this is what you need to do. This is it. Like, don't fucking feel sorry for them. Everything's your fault. Where you are now, it's all up to you, and like stuff like that. And for me, I was like, wow, like I needed that.
Is it quite a short book?
Yeah, it's quite a short book.
I might read that. That sounds quite good.
It's a really easy read as well. Like so easy. And it's just like a good little motivational thing, and yeah, it's good. Definitely recommend it. And Start Now, Get Perfect Later. Rob Moore's recent one. That was a good one. That was.
He's a property developer, is he, or property investor? Is it around property or is it not at all?
No, not really. It's just about not really. Like for me, I'm about to start my martial arts business, and it's sort of saying like, don't start fucking being months and months and months trying to get like perfect start.
Yeah.
So just start it and like just sort of go as you go along. Like you'll get
and create your own way.
Pretty much, yeah. So it's about that really. Yeah, it was really good. That's another book that's quite straight to the point.
Yeah.
It's about a medium length one, I think. So yeah, they're probably my 3.
Nice, because you get so many people that even like with what you're doing, like martial arts, they'll think, oh, I'll go to that when maybe I've lost a little bit of weight. Whereas if they go to that, they'll lose the weight anyway. Do you know what I mean? Like or if it's someone like who wants to go on a diet, I'll start that when this time is right, after that wedding, or do you know what I mean? Like after that binge, or Whereas start now and deal with the obstacles that are going to come, because life is going to throw them at you anyway.
Yeah, definitely, 100%.
Love it. Right, we spoke about this question already. What purchase of £100 or less has most positively impacted your life?
So, I did think of one actually, and I'd probably say a planner. I was on about planners the other day, wasn't we?
Yeah.
That's probably a very good thing that obviously I'm not using yet, but I know it probably will. But a lot of my things are over £100, and I'd say a flight ticket to India. Start your journey, get it go that way. But yeah.
So traveling for you is what you'd recommend to anyone who's like. Because that is a question that we're going to ask in a minute. What advice would you give to your 18-year-old self? And what should they ignore? What advice should they ignore?
Ignore materialistic things. Because when I was 18, I got my apprenticeship, so I was in like quite a good job at the time for my age, like, apprentice. And then I thought, I want to get a BMW. I was like, why did I do that? And I got a BMW. Thought I was like really cool. So that was another thing I'd say. Don't do things to impress other people. I definitely did that to impress other people. I was young. I didn't have a clue. Bought the BMW, loads of problems with it. Everything's expensive on a BMW. Never buy a BMW. Took me like ages to sort of. That's what I had to sell to go travelling actually. Sold my BMW. Forget it, gone. Bought a little shitty Fiesta thing to like ride around in for 2 years just to save up. So yeah, I'd definitely say just don't like get roped into the materialistic things.
Yeah, I've done
save for travel.
Spent so much money on cars.
Yeah, save as well. As soon as you get a job, just save. Like put a bit of your money away every month, every week, whatever you get paid, and it soon mounts up. Before you know it, it's crazy really how quickly your savings go up.
Yeah.
just by not really thinking about it. Because every week that I got paid every Thursday, and every Thursday I set a direct debit out of like £300, I think it was. So I just didn't even like think I had that much money. I'd be like, right, I've got 50 quid this week. That's all I've got.
Yeah.
I don't even think about going in your savings. You got 50 quid this week, and that's it.
Nice.
So
you always paid that. You paid yourself first, basically. You paid yourself a wage. The rest
Yeah.
went into. Well, whereas
Savings,
people
yeah.
like they normally spend and then put what they've got left into savings,
Yeah.
but there is nothing ever left. So just literally manage your money from when it comes in.
yeah,
That's something I got taught in Rob Moore's book actually about money. You read that?
not yet. No, I
good.
just read it.
That's good.
Yeah.
And that's in a lot of books, like financial books. It's in Richest Man in Babylon as well. It's about how
Yeah,
you should
yeah.
manage your money first. But
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's definitely important to manage money. Like, I'm quite lucky. I live at home still with my parents, so
Yeah.
that helped me a lot.
Yeah.
So I do understand if you've got a mortgage or rent, it's a bit harder. But and another thing with travel, I'd say, is just do it as soon as possible, because the older you get, it does get harder.
Yeah.
Not saying it's not impossible. You can obviously still travel when you're 65, but you can't go to a full moon party when you're fucking 90 odd in wheelchair, can you? You know what I mean? You want it when you're like with everyone who's the same age as you. You want to do it while you're young. Well, I say while you're living with your parents as well. It's just even better to do it.
Learn an experience that you can then apply them things when you come
For the rest
back
of your
as well.
life.
Yeah.
Definitely. So that's probably my best advice to my 18-year-old self.
And we both would vouch not to get expensive cars. Imagine the money we could have spent travelling if we didn't do that.
Oh God!
And even
incredible.
now, I think you just bought a car, haven't you? Now you've got back.
Yeah, another little shitty
You're back in the
Astra.
trap, mate.
Back, I am.
And you
Crazy.
messaged me saying I should get a scooter like you, and I can obviously afford a car now, but I've still
Yeah.
got a scooter out of my own self-discipline. Although the winter is set in, and I've not used it in
Yeah, it's the
I'd
winter,
say about a
innit?
month now. I'm just driving my missus' car around everywhere.
Yeah, when I was like travelling, I was just like cycling loads of places. And I said to my missus, I said, why don't we just get a bike when we get home? She was like, yeah, but this is 30 degrees heat. This is
Yeah.
nice to cycle in.
Yeah,
When you
yeah.
wait to go home and it's raining and snowing. I was like,
Exactly.
yeah, to be fair.
Exactly. Let's get a car.
Yeah.
Okay. How has failure set you up for later success?
So when I was in my saving for travelling, I actually set up a business, an e-commerce business, because I met someone who's like dangled the carrot. I was young, and I thought, yeah, I can get this money for travelling. He's told me I'm going to earn X amount every month just by doing 3 hours work, blah blah blah, and then I ended up doing it, and it was just an absolute disaster. I spent loads of money. I was doing these like Facebook adverts. I didn't even know what I was doing. The guy who was supposed to be my mentor gave me to somebody else to do, and then like so many times he'd say, oh, we'll have a call at 10 p.m. at night. I'm like, fucking hell, I've got to get up for work at 5 a.m. And he's like, yeah, but it'll be all right. But I wanted to do it, so I did it. I was up at 10 a.m. No answer. 11 p.m. Where are you, mate? Oh, sorry, got waylaid. We'll have to reschedule. I'm like, what? And it was just stuff like that. It was really, really bad. And then I was spending money on these adverts, and like it was just a shitty e-commerce business selling like Chinese goods, like drop shipping. It was awful. And then
And you didn't make any money out of it.
Didn't make any money out of it. And I paid the guy like 300 quid to become on this program thing. It was just absolute disaster. But I look at it now and think the amount of things I've learned from it, not to just take someone's word for it, do my research,
Yeah.
make sure it's something I'm actually passionate about and I'm selling or whatever, and yeah, just don't risk something that you don't really know what you're doing. That was probably
Love that.
that big failure for me. That at the time it was like really shit, and I thought my missus was sort of saying like, you're telling me it's going to be a success, and I was like, yeah, it will be. And she's like, well, we're going travelling in December. If you haven't got that money, like, I'm going without you. She didn't say that really, but she's sort of saying like, look, you need the money. And I was like, yeah, it's going to work. It's going to drop soon, And then obviously it never did. But now I look back and I think, yeah, that was such a waste. But it was a failure, and I learned from it, and I learned a lot from it.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Good.
now,
Good. I think we've gone you're delayed on the camera a little bit, but it's all good. We'll just carry on.
all right.
Right. So if I'm looking at you a bit weird, it's not because I'm like, it's just basically it's out a little bit. If you could have, here's a good question. If you could have one gigantic billboard anywhere with anything on it, getting a message out to billions of people, what would it say and why? Go travel.
Go travel, yeah. Go travel, get a black belt. I'd say do martial arts, because for me, I'm a bit biased saying this, but I think it is life changing. You learn discipline, respect, like the fitness and making friends, and I think it's a really good sport to get involved in for like kids to like adults, everything. So that is definitely something I'd put on a billboard. Get doing martial arts because it's more than just punching and fighting. There's loads more to it than that.
So I've wanted to get into it. But what's my resistance now is like, you've been doing it since you were 5. Is this like an excuse for me probably? How would I develop now? Where I'm coming in so late.
So that's the biggest thing with adults, and that's why my club I'm going to start a beginners class because a lot of adults don't like to feel stupid. That's the one of the reasons they don't join because they don't want to be a beginner again. When you're a kid, you don't care what people think, so you just jump in. Whereas when you're an adult, you've got like all this worry, and you're a bit more older. But you can be in the same mindset as when you was a kid. It's a new sport. It's a new challenge.
And I've got like a problem where I'm really competitive. So like, how long would it take me to be black belt?
About 5 years.
Is that how long it takes? 5 years on average.
Roughly, on average, yeah. So it's
does that mean you were 10?
Well, in the black belt, yeah.
You were 10 and you were black belt.
Yeah, I was like one of the youngest in my club. And then there's a few people who are like, oh, you're too young to be a black belt, but the black belt's not like the end. That's just like the beginning. You're like, right, I've got my black belt. What's next? Like first degree, second degree, third degray. I'm going to help teach.
They said that, but you were like, hang on, mate, and you just fuck them up.
Pretty much,
I'm black belt. Come at me.
But no, it helped me so much as a kid because I was like a right little shit like at school, but then it just gave me focus. It gave me just like the discipline and respect for other people. And so for me, I'd definitely say get involved in that. And travel young, travel while you can, because it gets harder when you get older. And don't be scared. We ate all street food and all sorts. Only got ill once, but could have got ill a lot more, but we didn't. Like so many
your
people
answer
said,
literally is like travel, martial arts, and maybe like personal development.
Yeah, definitely. But invest in yourself, 100%.
What's your favourite quote of all time? You're on the spot. This is not a pre-planned question, guys.
Nah, maybe the winners never quit and quitters never win.
Nice.
Because a lot of my stuff I've done through my life, I've just not had to quit. So it's got me where I am.
Nice. Like it. Okay, next question. In the last 5 years, what new belief, behaviour or habit has most improved your life?
So I started meditating more. And that's actually helped me a lot. So in India and many other countries, meditation's quite a big thing, So we did a lot of that in India. Did a lot of meditating.
You started while you were travelling?
Yeah. Meditating and yoga and stuff because they like love it over there. And it helped quite a lot really. Like helped me sleep better and just, it's quite nice to have that moment.
Just guided stuff, guided meditation?
We started off with guided meditation, but now I'm like quite happy just to sit with some music in the background and just like let myself go off and think, like, and it helps you get a bit more clarity in your thoughts. So I definitely recommend it.
15, 20 minutes or?
Yeah, it started off with just like 3 minutes, then it went to like 5, and then before bed would like do a bit of meditation, because like before bed would have so much going on in the head that you just like can't relax. But then doing the meditation, it just sort of like calms you down, and you're just ready for bed.
And do you sit up and do it, or do you lay down?
I sit up and do it. I've like learned like in bed, yeah. But they tell you not to do it in bed because that's like where you sleep. But obviously, didn't have much choice traveling, so we just sat up in bed and did it, and then just went to sleep. So.
What, with headphones in or something?
We didn't when we was traveling just because there's 2 of us. But yeah, you could do it with headphones, yeah.
And you both listen to the same music and done it together?
Yeah, and then both just like, I don't know, it just seems to like helped a lot better really.
Nice. And do you continue it now that you're home?
I haven't been home, but I will be. It's been a bit of a whirlwind since I've been back, but yeah, definitely will be something I'll be doing.
Look, every day, is it part of a daily
every
routine?
Every day,
now?
yeah. I think it will be a daily routine in the morning, and just before bed, yeah. So it doesn't have to be long. Twice a day, yeah. In the morning is good because it sort of gets you clear on what you want to do for the rest of the day. But then at night, I just do it to sleep really, just to calm you down, get you ready for bed, take them thoughts out of your mind, and then off to bed.
So, are you like myself? Like, could you imagine yourself saying these things 2 years ago?
No, definitely not. 100%. Totally changed. 100%.
It's mental, isn't it? Because I'm saying, like, in the last 5 years, like, even in the last year, you wouldn't believe making these changes, would you?
No. it's crazy seeing coming home and seeing all these different people that are like, you're trying to explain it to them, and they're like, what? Weirdo. What's meditation? And like, they just don't get it at all. So it's weird that you change so much.
Yeah.
But it's good. I just need to put my phone on charge.
No worries, mate. You carry on. So this is probably going to be answered by meditation, but when you feel overwhelmed or unfocused, what do you normally do?
Hang on a minute, mate. Just try my phone. I'll have to edit this out.
You're all good.
Oh shit, what's happening here? Hang on. No, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. You're good.
Right, yeah, we're all good now.
Yeah?
Yeah, all good.
So, yeah, when you feel overwhelmed or unfocused, what do you do? Is it meditate?
Yeah, that's helped massively. It helped travelling as well, because travelling, you're constantly researching like the next place, where you're going to sleep, what you're going to do. Every 2-3 days you're doing that. So it does get a bit overwhelming once you've had like a whole day of planning a country where you're going to go for 4 months and making sure all your transport goes in line with everything else. And then when you're in the country, the fucking transport's delayed, and then it puts back every other plan that you've made. So that's like one downside of planning. But yeah, I either just meditate or do martial arts.
Nice.
That's my place where I just I'm like happy. So if I ever got to do martial arts while I was travelling, I could just feel myself getting happy already. Like, you just feel it like within, you do something that you're actually passionate about.
Yeah.
Whether it's like a sport or just helping people, you can just feel it inside. You think like, this is like good.
What I'm supposed to be doing, yeah. And you lift as well, don't you, as well?
Pardon?
You do a lot of lifting.
Yeah, definitely helped with like, I don't know, I got into the gym anyway because I wanted to get a bit bigger. I was like a scrawny little kid. And then once I got out of the gym, I started enjoying it, and I started taking a bit more of an interest in it. And yeah, I don't know, I really, like, my missus enjoys lifting weights as well. Both enjoy doing fitness. So it definitely helps when you're traveling, if you're traveling with a partner, to do that together, because you help each other. When one of you can't be arsed and one of you can, it sort of helps to go together.
Definitely. Right, so I'm going to end it on 2 other questions, mate. I've not told you what they are yet. So,
okay.
Will you travel again? Pretty stupid question.
Definitely travel again, but I don't think I'd do it for a year again. Because I'd see the amount of countries I would again, but it was the actual travel part of travelling that was the hard bit of it, if you like.
Because you messaged me saying you feel like you're in like a palace now that you're home.
Yeah, I do. Everything is just amazing. You've got like a door that works, or an actual toilet. You can actually flush the paper down the toilet. And like, it's amazing.
You actually feel clean as well.
Warm water coming out of your tap, and you can just sort of cook your own meals. And it's all these little things that you just don't realise that you'd actually miss. And I think travelling, it got a little bit tedious towards the end, living like an Asian would live. Like, we just got used to it. It didn't bother us. Like, you're just living in like a bit of a shithole, and you have to like go to the toilet in a hole in the ground, and the food's not as clean as probably what you want it to be. The buses aren't as clean. They're a bit mad. They drive crazy. You can't speak to anybody in English. You just got used to it, but it did get a little annoying. And the beds as well. The beds aren't that comfy. But they're all the things that make, like, when you get to see this amazing monument or this amazing sight, for me...
Sorry, mate, I think I just lost you.
Are we back?
I think it'll come back in a second. Done it a second ago.
They ruined it.
We're back on now, though, yeah?
Yeah. Can you, like, edit that out?
Yeah, no, we're all good. We're all good. Where were we, anyway?
Put the cable in, but obviously didn't turn the socket on, so it died. Sorry.
So, yeah, what were we even saying?
I don't know.
Was it?
I think I was on about like sleeping, the downsides of travelling.
Yeah, no, and then I asked you if you go again and you said you wouldn't go again for a year.
Yeah. Okay.
So
go
how
now.
long would you travel for?
Probably just for like a month, maybe 2, but I wouldn't go any longer.
So you'd more go on like a lengthy holiday and maybe just do like one country.
Yeah, definitely. Because, it did get tiring carrying your backpack around fucking for a year. it did get a little bit annoying. But like I say, when you see these amazing things, it was worth it. But
Yeah.
I was ready for my own bet.
So you've got no goals to like live in any of them countries?
Not at the moment. I quite like being back in the UK at the minute. We're very lucky to live in this country. But just like, I don't know, having good Wi-Fi and just having like nice things again. It is nice, and you do appreciate it. And they don't have that over there. So I think I'd have to live in like a developed country if I was going to live in one. But for now, I'm quite happy to live here. Yeah. Maybe, never say never. I think maybe when I get older, I'll probably look at.
So you reckon it has made you feel more grateful for the UK?
Oh, massively, massively. But you don't like I was the one who used to moan about so many things. Then you look back and you think, what am I even moaning at? These people in Asia haven't even got a bed, or like they're sleeping on the floor, or there's like 5 in a bed. And they've just got no money, and you just think, we're fucking moaning about like shitty things like potholes in the road. And you think,
Yeah.
the old roads are potholing over there, but they're happy and they don't seem bothered. And you know, we've got like the NHS, and so many people moan about it. And you know, we've got this country that like can give you so much, yet we still find things to moan about. But
mental. We're spoiled brats in this country, aren't we? You really think about it.
Yeah, that is like literally, yeah. It's just we live in a bubble. We live in a massive bubble. Like totally live in a massive bubble. Like you can go to university and they'll fucking pay you for it. Like not many of these countries. They're like I think it was on the news recently. There's a 12-year-old Muay Thai fighter. I don't know if you saw it. Who he actually died while he was in the ring, and he was just trying to get money to do a uni degree or like college. And like that's the risk that they're taking every day to just live a decent life,
to get an education. Yeah.
And there was a I don't know if did you go to Laos?
Yeah.
Yeah. So then did you like learn about the bombs that are still live in the country?
Yeah.
And all the kids are like running to go get the bombs for the metal to sell for money. And then like they're getting like £5 for this bit of metal, but it's a live bomb. And that's what they've got to do every day just to like live, just feed them for a week. Mental.
I like that place.
Yeah.
That was a cool place. Cool. I thought it was proper chilled. Did you like it?
Yeah, it was alright, yeah. It wasn't probably one of my favourites though. But it was nice, yeah, some really nice places.
What was your least favourite?
China.
China?
Yeah, and it's hard because like it was raining for like fucking the whole month that was there, but that didn't help. There's like a few days that was sunny, but I just didn't find the people very nice, very sort of rude, and you just sort of got the impression that you go to Thailand and Laos, they love tourists because that's where the money comes from. You go to China, they don't care because they're like, we don't need you. We don't need tourism. With China, we're bigger and better than everybody. And you got that impression, and nobody speaks English, like at all, like not even a little bit. So Google Translate was brilliant for that, and they just don't like care to learn English either. You'd like ask them a question, and they're just not bothered. They just like look at you straight in the face. It's like every man for himself. Like they don't care, push it in. Like they just, if they ran you over, I think they just keep running you over. I don't think anyone would stop to help you. They're so big, so many people. Yeah, it's just. A bit, I do want to go back though because I think you shouldn't give like a bad experience. Like, shouldn't like I don't know. If you get a bad experience with like one country, you shouldn't just like generalize it to the whole country and everybody. Because we did meet some lovely people. We did meet some nice people, but it just happened to be the majority in the cities and stuff that wasn't really that nice. So, sort of leave a bit of a bad taste in the mouth. But I think in sorry, going off a bit of a tangent. In Sri Lanka, we had a great time. Then on the last day, there's a guy who nicked my missus's purse out of her bag on the bus, and we sort of like that just sort of took over our mind. Then we forgot about the amazing 2 weeks we had. That one event has then changed it. We're like, oh yeah, Sri Lanka was rubbish, horrible people. They're all like selfish. They steal from me, and then like we had to sort of step back a bit. It was like, no, that was just one guy, one bad incident. Yeah, it wasn't great. Like we lost your purse and your cards and that, but that was just one incident. You can't just like, generalize it to the whole 2 weeks that we've had. So it wasn't like that. We did have a good time, but it definitely does leave a bad taste in your mouth, and you do have to sort of get over it.
I was going to ask if there was any like bad experiences.
I got $100 stolen out of my bag in a room from a maid. Silver got the same. There's a few like just apart from like the purse being stolen. There wasn't really many bad like serious. I nearly got mugged in Bali actually. That was quite bad. But
really,
like yeah, there's a place called Kuta in Bali, and it's a bit rough. There's like some nicer places in Bali, but yeah, it's got a bit of renown for like sort of drugs and prostitution, and it's a bit rough. And I was just coming home one day, and this group of people just like surrounded like me and Silver. I was on our own. It was late at night. We've been out drinking. They just tried to like get my phone off me and stuff, but I managed to like push them away. And then about 5 minutes later, a group of girls came, and, like started going through all our pockets and stuff. And again, I just sort of like pushed them away and was like, "Nah, leave us alone." And that was like quite scary because you never know really what could happen. But apart from that, it wasn't really like many bad things that happened. Silver got ran over once by 2 motorbikes.
Didn't mention that then.
She got run over by 2 motorbikes. Not like serious, but it's crashed her, grazed her arm. So that was like a bit bad for her. To be fair, I managed to dodge all the bad things that happened to me. I think it was my missus who took most of the hits. Bless her.
I love how like any bad experiences. Not really, mate. Oh yeah, at the end, my missus got run over.
Literally, all the bad things that happened, it just happened to her, unfortunately. But it just happened like that. I think like it was in Bali as well, where she slipped on some wet floor, and I think she fractured coccyx in doing so. So she couldn't wear a backpack for a week, so I had to fucking carry it. I was carrying my own backpack, 20 kilogram, and carrying her backpack, 20 kilogram. So,
that's why you're so stacked, mate, coming back.
I think so, yeah, I think that was it.
So, last question, mate. What's in store for you? Now, obviously, we're going into 2019. What are your goals and what have we got to look out for? What's exciting?
So, 2019 is going to be my own martial arts club that I'm starting up, called Benefit Martial Arts and Fitness. Taking the plunge, doing the deep dive into setting my own business up and going on my own. Without travel, I'd have never have done that, and I'd never got the confidence to do that at all, or be so clear on my vision that I know that martial arts is the thing that I want to pursue my career. So, got that coming up. So that's sort of my main goal. So setting that up, making that successful, growing it as much as possible. And yeah, really, that's probably the main thing, really. Not really got much else in store. But yeah.
And you're doing that full time? You aren't going back into any kind of work, you're doing that full time?
Yeah, full time, so I'm proper going for it. So I thought I could have easily gone back, just for the money. And that was the only reason I was gone back. And I don't need to go back for the money, I'm not in a rush, so I might as well just do something I enjoy, really. You know what I mean? I'd rather
mate. Yeah, I love it.
Go for it. So, yeah.
100%, mate. So, if we say let's get you back on in like 6 months' time, and you can talk about your first 6 months in business, like the first year as well. I think in business is like, or in entrepreneurship is like, you learn so much. So you've had such a massive learning curve in the last year in like traveling.
Yeah.
You're going to have so much growth in 2 years that no one's even going to recognise you, mate, by the end of next year.
No, I know, definitely. It's good though. It feels amazing to be like a different person. And a few people says, "Oh, yeah, you've changed a lot. You've changed." But I think the biggest changes that we've seen is within me and my missus, because we've gone on this journey together. That only the change that we've seen from each other is going to be massive compared to what maybe you would see or what my mum would see. Because like we were staying with each other for every second of every day for a whole year. So you start to learn a lot about each other.
Yeah.
It was
good. Do you feel like you've grown together?
Oh, massively.
As individuals and as like a couple.
Yeah, definitely. Because before we went, like a few people was like, "Oh, I bet you'll split up. Bet you'll be sick of each other by the time a month kicks in." But it didn't. It brought us closer together because you're in these situations where it's like you need to stick together. No good arguing with each other. to try and get out of a situation, you've got to work together to get out of it. So
Yeah, it's cool, man.
it was massively like changed together. It was nice to do it that way as well. And you sort of like both sort of, you know, want to trust each other in what you're going to do with your life now. Like before, if I said, oh, I'm going to do martial arts, I'm going to quit my electrician, Mrs. might have been a bit like, what are you giving up a good job for? You know, we've got a house, you get a mortgage, we're going to do this all risky stuff for. But now, because we've been on this journey, she understands that's my passion. She's going to support it. And likewise with her, she's going to go back to uni and do a degree. So it's nice, yeah, it's good.
That's awesome, mate, because I obviously went with my ex-girlfriend, and then we broke up as soon as we got back from travelling. So I was one of them guys that would have been like, mate, don't do it. Don't do it. Whereas now, like, obviously that left a bitter taste in my mouth. So like, whereas now, hearing you speak about it, like, don't judge one experience for everyone. And obviously you've come out of it a lot stronger because of it. And like, we met couples as well. Some broke up like we did. Others have got like even stronger like you guys have. And I think it's just like, yeah, it's super cool. And I think if you listen to this and you're a couple or if you're single, like, either way, go. Yeah. And if the other person wants to go with you, then go and just make that decision, like, to go and enjoy yourself and like just think, like you said, like, go and do it. Yeah,
definitely. And I think, to be fair, the big thing before I left travelling, I said I want to change. So I already had in my mind that I wanted to change. I went with that mindset, and I think that does help because we met a lot of people who went travelling who didn't change. Like, they did the similar sort of thing that we did, but they didn't change. And I think the difference was they didn't want to change, whereas we did want to change. So every experience or every opportunity where I thought, this is a chance for me to get better, this is a chance for me to do this, like, I did it because I knew this would help me change. Because I think some people might shy away from certain things because they don't want to change. Because, you know, just getting on a flight and going to India might not change you that much, but you've got to go speak to the locals and try the local food and go to a local mosque or whatever. That'll change you. You've got to put effort in yourself.
Yeah.
So.
Love that, mate. So where can the listeners find your content? Because I know you post a lot of content on Instagram and stuff. Like, have you got anything else like that you want to promote to the guys?
So I'm just on my Instagram at _Jordan Clark with an extra K. I'm sure they can find it through your Instagram, but there will be a lot of things coming on soon with the Benefit Martial Arts and Fitness. There'll be a lot of videos.
Yeah. What you got in mind, like podcast, YouTube channel and stuff, or?
Yeah, I think so. Hopefully get that all going. So at the minute it's quite busy and quite crazy, but yeah, it should be good.
Exciting times, mate. Well, thanks for coming on, mate. It's been I've been waiting for this for a long time, and you've not let me down, mate. It's been awesome.
Probably rambled on too much.
No, mate, loved it. And everyone who's listening, go give him a follow on social media and give us some feedback. It's been awesome, and we'll get you on again soon, mate.
Awesome, mate. Cheers. Thanks for having me.
Legend. Enjoy the rest of your day, man. Enjoy being back in the beautiful weather of the UK. That's like Barbados here, mate, isn't it? Take it easy. Cheers, mate.
Cheers, mate. Bye.
What is going on, listeners? I'm sure you all agree that was an awesome podcast. Like, I've literally just listened back through whilst editing the podcast, and I've taken so many notes. Like, I've learned so much from Jordan. Like, I'm so grateful to have him on the podcast. But yeah, please do. If you feel like you've got value from this, or if you're actually someone who's been taking notes, or you want to like put things, like write them down, write them in the comments section, and then type them into us and send them away, so that we can see what kind of feedback you got from that, what kind of value you got from the podcast. And I know I learned a lot from Jordan, so I just want to thank him again for coming onto the podcast. And if you're someone who's listened, then be sure to reach out to him on social media. Tag us both in your Instagram stories, and we look forward to seeing you in the next one where he comes on and explains on how his business is building. But yeah, more guests coming on very soon as we are finished in 2018. Very strong. I hope you guys are too. And if I don't see you before, have an absolutely unbelievable Christmas. Be sure to hit subscribe to follow more of our activity in 2019, trying to bring you as much inspiration, motivation, and just like knowledge bombs as possible to give you all the value you need to go and get after your goals in 2019. Let's get after it, guys. See you all in the next one.